How much is the water of the Nile? How much water do you think we use for drinking and for washing and for all of the individual purposes? So how much does agriculture use? Why are they fighting over water? Is it to drink or to grow food? We have the highest growing populations in the world. We will double. So if we're fighting over this water because we don't have enough food today, imagine what will happen in 25 years. So we do have a water problem in the Nile. And this problem is complicated by the fact that there are more countries sharing it, and these countries are also dealing with a lot more challenges. Who knows the countries that the Nile runs through?
Uganda or Tanzania.
And continue to go up to Kenya. Oh, Congo, of course, small part of Congo. Where?
Then Ethiopia. So there's a source at Ethiopia that also feeds into, then goes up to Egypt and dumps itself.
These people that were trying to discover the source of the Nile. Why were they trying to find the source of the Nile, do you know?
ممكن مثلا عاوزين يدوروا على المصدر بتاعه عشان يسيطروا على خط سير النيل كله على كل الدول.
More you have control on the water, more you win somehow because everybody's depending on water.
How good is the government at managing its resources?
الشعوب هي اللي بتحرك الحكومات، فلما بيبقى في وعي وزي ما بيقولوا جايه من الناس من تحت وعي جارف وحركه جارفه بتضغط على الحكومات واداره الحكومات انها تشتغل على حلول فعليه، فنلحق ما تبقى يعني من الوقت، يعني نعالج اللي ينفع يتعالج، لانه اكيد اللي هيبقى جاي هيبقى صعب، ولو سالت اي حد مش هيعرف يتخيل ايه اضرار انه بعدين الميه تخلص.
ما محتاجين انه نحن نجري ورا سفراء او ورا وزراء عشان يقولون تعالوا شوفوا احنا بنعمل شنو. بالعكس هم بيكونوا ممكن يكونوا هم سبب كبير في بعض الاشياء اللي بتكون بتحصل. الفنان هو اصلا سفير، والفن ابلغ يعني واعمق من اي حكومه ومن اي سفراء.
Okay. And again back down and on the stomach. Yeah, okay. Okay. And now let's try to massage.
Oh my God.
Have you heard there are political problems in the Nile? Why they want to build the Grand Renaissance Dam?
Ethiopia is trying to generate more electricity, and for that reason, they feel like they should build a dam on the Nile.
And I mean, look what they're calling it. The Grand Dam or the Renaissance Dam. There's more than just what they're building. It's also probably about power, like we've been talking about, pride of the people to say, look at this massive thing that we built.
It's from our country. We have 85% from Blue Nile, you know?
Yeah. And you don't use any of it?
We didn't use, so we have to use a little bit.
A little bit, okay.
Yes.
When you're generating electricity, it's just you're building the pressure of the water and then you release the water. Then what's the problem if you're releasing the water eventually?
What is happening with the silt?
ቀይ አፈራችንን እየሸረሸረ ወደ ሌላ ሀገር ነው የሚሄደው እና ከቀይ አፈር ላይ ብዙ እንጠቀማለን ብለን የምናስበውን ነገር አልተጠቀምንም። ስለዚህ መጠቀም እንፈልጋለን። ለኤሌክትሪክ ብቻ አይደለም።
So these are all theories, but what is the solution?
Sudan, Ethiopia, and Egypt, I think, are divided equally between these countries.
If there's a resource, more investors come.
But the question comes back again: do we need the Nile, like as Kenya?
I don't like the idea of removing DRC, Rwanda, Burundi from the conversation. I think that everyone should be a part of the conversation.
If we think about Sudan, and we think about Ethiopia, or think about Tanzania, I don't think it might work out.
Okay.
We all need to focus about, okay, we are all African. We remove all the borders, and try to divide equally. I think that might be a good solution.
I mean, as we said, what you do upstream definitely affects downstream. Countries like Kenya and Burundi and Rwanda should be encouraged to do afforestation and safe methods of cultivation, just so to better the climate around these areas where the source is starting from. Because if we ruin everything in Kenya, Rwanda, and Tanzania and DRC, the levels of water will definitely be affected.
Countries that have more military power and more political power, like Egypt, don't have the water, so they all have to talk. So that makes it more interesting, more complicated, and more hopeful, actually, because we have to talk at some point. We have to solve this problem.
University students with the university program, these are the people who are have the psyche to work on creative solutions.
We have intelligent people that have been working on this problem for the last 20, 30 years. And this is the most complicated water conflict in the world. So we need to come up with creative solutions because we don't have enough water for everyone.
ሁሉም የተሳሳተ ነገር ነው እያወራ ያለው፣ የተሳሳተ ነገር ነው እየደጋገመ ያለው። ሶሉሽን ከሆነ የተሻለውን ነገር ልክ እንደ ሙዚቀኛ ወይም ደግሞ ከፖለቲካ ውጭ በሆነ ነገር አይተውት ብናወራ አሪፍ ነው ይመስለኛል።
What does this music that we're making have to do with these issues that we've been talking about?
Concert is 2 hours thing, and we can't convince everybody. They are maybe tired, they will enjoy music, he bought his ticket.
It's good to be skeptical, and I encourage you to say, this is not working. This music is not going to go anywhere. Or, this music might go somewhere, but even if it's good music, I'll wait and see when we go to a concert how much it's affecting people.
You never know. If it touches the right person, maybe. I think we're actually doing a lot more than that, so I think we should all feel confident that we're making an impact. How big that impact is, there's no way to know.
Even if it's a small, introduction or a pamphlet that says what the problem is, it can immediately start a dialogue. Like after you go see a good film or you go see a good concert, you can't help but talk about it for days.
If we brought people from different countries and we put them together in the same room and they start talking about the Nile, what do you think will happen?
Just fight.
They will fight. They will argue about whose water it is, who is allowed to build a dam and who's not. So this is why we don't start with the conversation. This is why we start with the music. Most projects that thought of African music and brought Africans together, most of them were for places outside of Africa. So us in Africa, we never got to hear each other, but people in Europe and people everywhere in North America and other places where the world music industry exists got to hear all of us. That's because of the way that this industry was set up. And that was not giving us the experience of learning about each other. We're showing that we have a lot more in common than people know, than we thought before we came into this. So this is the idea of what the Nile Project is doing. Musical curiosity leads to musical understanding. In the same way, musical understanding leads to cultural understanding. I become more interested in Dawit because he plays an instrument that looks like the simsimaya. And from there, we can have a conversation. We can meet after the concert. We can break that stage barrier that does not happen in the world music industry. The Nile project is about creating a conversation. It's about bringing everyone together. Being for or against the dam is like being for or against a certain rhythm or a certain kinyat or maqam. That's not what we're about here. We're about bringing them all, putting them all together and getting everyone to share their opinion and their dialogue. Lots of people, like you, spend your whole day perfecting your music and your instrument and your voice. There are people that spend as much time and more thinking about these issues. So welcome to the Nile project, and to be continued.
Aswan Oya! Aswan Shukran! Shukran!